It's in relation to the motion, or not to the motion, to the ordinance. As you know, we've had an internal audit that's going on, as well as a investigation with Trotman and Pepper. And I think council is pretty aware that there's been some concerns that have arisen. And so, as per the charter, section 4, 307, number 5, I'd like to make a motion that the city manager personally provide a 3 to 5 page executive summary on what is happening in the finance department, the occupational taxes, and the business license department, the status, the management failures, and systematic problems that have occurred and are reoccurring, the practices and authorizations of the citations and or the delinquency notices that have been directed at the businesses, who issued and authorized those notices, why the businesses were not, that were delinquent were not contacted, and why there was delays in those collections. And we would like that report finished no later than COB on October 30th, which is Monday. That's my motion.
Oh, that's a motion? Okay. All right, well, there's a motion to ask the city manager to bring a report on the licensing division. Is there a second? All right. To the motion, Councilor Huff.
First question is, how did we get to this point of it being so public? And why does he only have, today's the 24th?
Well, I think we're getting close to the end of our audit, and so it's important that we have all sides of the stories that are going on right now, all sides of the opinions, and all points of views that are not skewed by anybody or anything. And so if we can just put that out there, and we can gather all the information separately, I think that's beneficial for everyone involved. Everyone involved is the citizens, council, for businesses in the city.
Wouldn't he need more time to give you your adequate report?
I don't think so. I mean, it's just 3 to 5 page executive summary.
And you know, that's part of the audit, is that there's a response from the individuals anyway. So I mean, that's embedded in the audit process. So, all right, Mr. Hughley.
Mr. Mayor, first of all, I need clarity in what is being requested. And of course, it is known that there is an internal audit going on in the finance department. I know that members of this council brought in outside resources, as I understand it. And I heard the council member refer to Trotman and Pepper, and I heard the word investigation used. And but there's an internal audit of finance department, and so I will be happy to have our finance director, Angelica Alexander, bring the 3 to 5 page. I believe you referenced it. I don't recall how you referenced what you're asking for. And I don't know the extent of, typically when there's an internal audit or an audit, there's an entrance interview, there's communication through the process, and then there is an exit interview. An audit report is delivered to the appropriate agency. In this case, our finance director. I don't believe our finance director has received an audit report from the external auditor, or from the investigation, or from the outside auditors. Certainly I have not received any communication, no interview. no communication from any person. And so I have no information about what has been referenced as investigation or outside audit report. And so zero communication with me. No interview, no one has said a word to me. I don't know the extent of what has been communicated. And I say that because as chief operating officer, no one has communicated with me. It is one of my departments, the finance department, who reports to a deputy city manager Pam Hodge, who reports to me. And I don't believe Deputy City Manager Hodge, I don't know that she's received any communication at all. And so I know there's been limited, from what I understand, communication with the finance director. And I don't believe the finance director has been privileged to communicate anything outside of what's being discussed with her. And so I will get with the deputy city manager and get with the finance director, and we'll bring you a 3-page report that should not be construed with a response to any audit or investigation. When I hear that they're going to come simultaneously, I presume that means that on the 31st, there's going to be some presentation.
Well, I think what we're looking for specifically under the powers and duties of the charter, the city manager under the subject and direction of the mayor shall, and section 4-307 number 5 reads, prepare and make such reports concerning the operations of departments, offices, agencies, consolidated government, subject to the city manager's direction, supervision, that may be required by mayor or by the council. And so the council is asking for that report. And if you're not aware of anything that's going on in that department, then that would be appropriate to include. But I do think it is important, and council would like to see that come personally from you and not from staff.
No, I heard you say that the audit results are coming.
And it has nothing to do with the audit, and it has nothing to do with
if I may,
Council, let's let him respond.
I heard you say an audit and an investigation result is coming, and you want to hear both sides of the story. I believe that's what I heard you say. Well, you can't hear a side of a story from me from an audit or an investigation if I don't have any information related to the audit or investigation.
Well, I'm sure that you're aware of the things that are going on in the department, and we just want to know where you stand on that as the chief operating officer of the department. So,
well, no, I will.
That's my motion, and I think there's a second on the table.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, this is discussion.
Okay, so I'm happy to have the finance director bring a report back. It's her department, and she will bring a report back to you based on your request. And so, yeah, based on the charter, that's to be expected from the city manager. But you have tied it to and referenced it to an audit and investigation, and that's where I want clarity.
It has nothing to do with the audit or the
Well, I thought that's what you
investigation.
said.
It's just what
I thought you said you've got
I said.
the
There's an
report.
audit that's going, an internal audit that's going on, and there's an investigation as well going on by a third party. And we just want to know from your perspective how the business office and the business license office is working, since we've been since businesses have reached out to us in concerns to delinquency notices, to not receiving business licenses, to receiving citations on site for not having their business license, even though it's been they've been submitted, to having business licenses that they've submitted payments for before. And so we just want some clarity on what's happening, and And since that falls under your office, we would like that directly from you.
Directly from me.
Yes.
I will bring you a report from the finance department on the information you requested. It will come from the director through the deputy city manager to me, and I will be happy to present that to you we'll send it to you as you indicated on October 30th.
All right, we've got a couple of other counselors waiting. Counselor Thomas?
Councilor Cogle, would you reread your motion to the part that says what you are asking to be included in this report, the various items that you are asking to be included in this report?
Sure. An executive summary on what is going on in the finance department, occupational and business license departments, its status, the management failures and the systematic problems that have occurred and are reoccurring, the practices and authorizations of citations and or delinquency notices directed at businesses, who issued and authorized those notices, why businesses that were not delinquent were contacted, and why we are delayed in collections.
Thank you.
All right, Counselor Begley?
Since we've engaged a third party, can we hear from that third party about their recommended process before we vote? Because we've engaged someone who goes through this, and I wouldn't want to do something that contradicts their suggestions.
Counselor Crabb?
Thank you. I think we're getting confused here. This is not a response to the audit. This is happening because counselors started getting telephone calls from citizens before we were advised of the issue from the city manager. And we're kind of wondering, why did that happen? If we were having problems in the finance department with collections and with issuing of business licenses, it seems logical that